頑張って書いてくれたんだ。すごいんだよ。待って、下の小池さんちが雨漏りしちゃう。
Yeah, but only if you leave the realm of relative realism and claim that she really is suddenly able to cry huge fountains worth of water from her eyes. Is that what we're doing here?
小さい頃からオールマイトの真似して困ってる人を助けるんだって青たんこさえてね。
Did he? Because I can't recall him ever mentioning doing that while also getting injuries. You're making that up? Early onset Alzheimer's? Should I call Yagami? Shout out to Judgment from the dudes who make Yakuza. That was an awesome game. CGI.
ただいま。おやおや、どこかへ行かれてたナンバー2。
Nah, he just flew down saying I'm back because he never left.
また被害者ゼロで済んだ。君が目を光らせてるうちはこの町も安泰だよ。
この速さの秘訣が隠されてるかも。
え？そんな君のために持ってきてました。
用意がすごい。どこから？
Midoriya would be good at anime sins right here.
自由に歩けもしない。さもないと見えない敵を取り逃がしてしまうし、市民への被害も大きくなってしまう。
He says that he cannot walk around freely, but then most definitely does end up walking around freely on his own in a few minutes' time anyway.
ヨシ様の国で勝手な真似すんじゃねえ。ぶっ飛ばすぞ。
船長、相手を刺激しすぎです。
そうか。
You assume anyway. I mean, it's a boat with individual people on it, so you don't really know what's going on over there, do you? Also though, he's the captain. Does that mean nothing anymore?
戦績不明船停船しなさい。停船しないと困っちゃうぞ。
This guy, who is a captain and has seemingly been doing the job for a long time, decides to randomly and suddenly redevelop his entire style of doing his work because of a single comment from this woman just now.
発見された。何？どこだ？レーダーに船は見えないぞ。空だ。空だと。
For the first and last time of the video, no.
本当に煙。
She can randomly tell the chemical composition of the smoky substance surrounding the boat in front of her.
フラッピー。
I mentioned it during the first half Sins video, but once again, how in the holy hell is she able to have that much of a physical tongue wrapped up in her body at any one time? Also, fun fact, there is no way to write that Sim without it sounding incredibly rude.
絶対に
Would she have been able to easily go from having a hold on the wing of the plane, at the very edge mind you, to being able to make her way to the side of it, moving at those speeds, and then also open it from the outside during flight? Isn't that against some plane safety codes or something?
やっぱりすごい。つかめそうなところで突き放される。
本当に助かりました。
興味現金か。気をつけることだ。
Big assumption that he's got cash in that briefcase. Could just be his sandwich and some crackers or something, you feel me?
だけが振り上げた拳を下ろせないでいる。お父さんがトウヤ兄を殺したって思ってる。
It's actually a little bit odd to be bringing it up at all after Todoroki just said that he wasn't going to volunteer up that information about his brother. Like, I'm not sure what led her to bring it up.
頭引っ込めろジャリンコ。
黒目さん、ミスター白線だ。
喋るな。下噛むぞ。
They're not riding a horse, bruh. Even if you skid a little, they're not going to bite their tongues, only if you're planning to crash, and also you're talking too.
おったよ、俺だよ。炎天気だ。もう一度言う。彼を離せ。
As much as I'm loving this moment on the Winds version, does this mean that he followed his son all the way to his destination, captured him in these vines, but then carried him all the way along the route he thought his father might be taking to take the kids back to the agency, and no one saw a thing? I call
bullshit.
死ぬかと思った。
怪我はありません。
Poor guy is probably nauseous because his car doesn't have a steering wheel, the sad little lad.
教官僚。
違う。お前らじゃない。
He's saying, not you guys, like they're about to capture him, and that's not what he wants, but he doesn't want to be captured at all. He wants to die, and only by the hands of Endeavor.
口を割らせることができれば一気に大元を叩けるんだが、いかんせん肝心なことは一切話そうとしない。くだらない話はするが、重ねて言うが、こいつが口を割れば大きな進展につながる。
Would it though? Because just a little earlier on you said he talks, but it's all trivial things and not anything important, and then he shuts down when it is something important.
席と副席の権限。
はい。自己犠牲と命を捨てることは道義じゃない。許可をお願いします。
自由な校風が遊泳の売りなのさ。
So, is that a yes, you little panda boy?
これがオール・フォー・ワンが残してくれた力か。
Does this mean he went all the way out there after he made the initial comment without ever once actually asking what it was that they were going to look at?
Bullshit. やってみろ。ヴィランとはザレ事を実践する者のことじゃ。
Well, that's a really weird and made up definition, not gonna lie, Eggman. That was worth putting on there.
未来の王様がピンチです。
いつものことだ。
How the hell do you know that from that distance, though?
ようやく寝た。いつ飯食ってんだ、あの化け物。
田村君生きてますか？
Asking someone if they're alive when they're alive, brought to you by the next evolution of the sin. Asking someone if they're awake when they're awake, brought to you by Japan Joke. That's a mouthful for sure.
バカが死ぬだけだ。
行くんだな。
そう言ってるだろ。
Shigaraki would be good at anime sins right here.
私は案内役を仰せつかった者。解放軍指導者と話したければ、私についてきたまえ。
ヒーロー？知らんやつだが。
Then why would you think he's a hero?
さあ始めてまいります。異能解放軍再臨祭。
これ11番ガチであるぞ。
Where are you getting that from? You definitely cannot surmise that number just from having been attacked now by a few people. Even quite a few people isn't a clear indication of 110,000 attackers, bruh.
だからこそなぜあんなことを。
How incredibly fortuitous that after being hit by like 35 explosions that she ended up through the back door of the restaurant, through the alley, and then straight back onto the street in front of her enemy.
あの子は悪魔の子なんです。
ママ、パパ。
Being mean to animals is always a sin.
でなければこのインタビューは完成しません。逃げられないよ。
Literally every single one of the people from their army just let her run right past them without moving an inch. Running on the spot.
なぜすぐに炎を出さない。何かを待っているのか、はたまた異能に問題ありか。
おいおい、どうやら知らねえな。
Darby can still hear him fine even though he's talking at a super normal volume outside and is actively using his ice ability to propel himself away from Darby at what looks to be quite some speed.
そう頭を持て。し、どう押さえつけろ。いいわ部外ガール。
Lots and lots of typey but no changey changey.
しがらき。
おいおいマジか。増えたのか。
No, absolutely not.
散るといい。高尚な夢をお持ちのようで。
Giving yourself away before you attack cliche.
生きていると。
And an extremely rare and unexpected asking someone if they're alive when they're alive. Didn't think that would happen twice.
あの時確かにこいつの見据える未来を見てみたい。そう思ったんだ。人に乗っかってなきゃ。
All of these people are meant to be trying to kill him, and yet they allow him to have a fairly long monologue instead. Also though, right before this monologue, the guy with the mask told them all to go to their commander's rescue after seeing the tower had been brought down, and yet none of them have done so. I know we cannot control them, only incite them, but still, none of them follow the order of one of their leaders?
今どんな気持ちなんだ。いやな、11万人だっけ。
It's a small issue, but an issue all the same, and how characters like this can have their clothing be on a perfectly normal body, and then become the size of a tower, and yet still have the same clothing on. That is some stretchy material, I tell ya. Naruto, run! Yeah, sorry. I'm not buying him being able to so easily get to his phone and use it in that form. Alright, chill. He's being dragged by the collar of his shirt. As many wins as this is getting on the opposite version, I have to point out how far away his son was in the backyard, and then he's able to hit him with a stick he picks up, but then we see he's still all the way over by the wall after being struck, and his father is still clearly in front of the house. Person in the past memory having the wise cliche.
転送頼むマキアヤバすぎみんな死んじまうジョンちゃんを殺す気かはあジョンちゃんは転送を使うたびに扁桃炎になるんじゃつうか嘘つけポンポン使ってただろうが
That doesn't mean that Johnny doesn't in fact suffer from tonsillitis every time he warps people though. This goes on for a really, really, really long time.
聞いたこともねえやつばっかだしめちゃくちゃすごい個性だらけじゃないてめえは個性なら何でもすげえんだろが雑魚勝ち権限
Why do they keep on feeling the need to invite Bakugo to these meetings? Nathan Bird, Bird Without a Word, Tyler Warner, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Mr. Waffle 64, Kieran Robinson, Chris Harris, Jonas Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, The Element Taylor Wars, Manuel Morales, Conito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Sebastian Ramirez, Orokeeper, Jeffa 6263, Magnus, Kevin Nelter, Energy Curve, Brendan Krier, Kaj Vorzelman, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Commander, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Adora Blue, Matthew Ditzworth, Sentimento, Dayton 2000, Becky San, Storm 970, Inakami and Water.